Hello, 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 and welcome back, my pretties, to Sod Passion Projects. Hope you're having a fantastic day, even though the given day that I hope to upload this after immediate recording and ideally editing not at all, just off the cuff with as little gaps as possible. The day the Nintendo eShop and also Wii U eShop, but Nintendo 3DS, I should say, and the Wii U eShop closes, but the Wii U, not gonna lie, I knew about the Wii, knew about the DS, 3DS, that entire line, knew about the Switch. I had no idea the Wii U existed until the Switch came out, and it's like, wait, the last one failed? What was the last one? So, not a big loss on the Wii U. I mean, some games have come out there, but they've all been ported now, thankfully. So it's like we don't have to worry about it too much. Well, actually, no, there's been a good few that have been ported. And it's a part of a whole thing about what's it, game preservation. Completionists did something about that. Just spent a ton of money buying them and then donating those, buying games and donating to those places. But anywho, the main thing I want to talk about is the basically 3DS eShop, or yeah, just 3DS eShop, closing, some of my personal history with it, and je ne sais quoi, some issues I have with Nintendo's pricing system. Kind of all ties neatly together, at least for me. But yeah, let's just go over my history with the 3DS as it stands. DS came out, it's kind of just the same family brand of console, except honestly, it's basically the 3DS is just the DS2, but under a different brand. Like Nintendo loves their gimmicks. They always need a gimmick when doing something, a new console, unfortunately. And like 3D was just the thing they settled on to differentiate the DS, its second iteration, from the last. It couldn't just be the DS2, sadly enough. Probably would have been better for it, but oh well. Basically, I don't remember specifically when, but I got it as a kid, and I just absolutely loved it. DS as well. I went from like the DS to the 3DS, going over like the Professor Layton series, various Pokemon entries from what's it? I believe my first was Diamond from what's it? Gen 3, if I remember correctly, or is that Gen 4? It's hard to say. Hard to say because I keep forgetting about one. I know there was like Diamond, Pearl, and Black and White. So I know it's actually Gen 4 because Hoenn, Johto, Kanto. Okay, the some order there. Complete side tangent there. I should also mention I've had no sleep in about quite some time. I stayed up way too late several days for different streams, finishing off 2 different games. Last of which was Super Mario Galaxy. There we are. So I'm a bit puzzled as I do this. Please bear with me. Where was I? Yes, going through all the Pokemon games from the DS to the 3DS, and playing various stuff on there. Buying games on the eShop, such as that. Oh god, I can never remember the name of it. Basically, it's just a chick in a giant robot mech trying to protect a family member, I believe, president of Japan or something. Prime Minister is the term over there. Anyway, if you've played on the Nintendo 3DS, seen that game, you know what I'm referring to, even if you don't get the name. You know, there's a very specific game that was on the system that covers. But yeah, just playing all kinds of stuff like that. There's one. I think this was the DS, but like there's one JRPG where you're basically just like a weird out of time person, just meeting up people and trying to form connection with them with like a base that just forms out of the ether from some other timeline. I can't remember what the name of it is, but for some reason that game sticks strongly in my memory. I don't know. I guess it was like the first JRPG that I really enjoyed. I can only guess that was like in the proper form of it as we knew it back at the time. Because Pokemon technically was one, but it was also just it's Pokemon. So, anywho, did all that, played all the games. I got suckered into a scam on at the very launch of the 3DS, which could only just be described as a deck demo. They charge you full price for the gull of them. But very favorite system of mine. I played not for as long as I would have liked, because one family vacation. I shan't say to where or what specifics of the vacation were, just for my own security. You never know how someone might piece information together. Basically, we're going to the old family treat where people like from even out of country are coming once a year to meet up with everybody. And we were not, 60 seconds out of the drive-thru, 60-30. And then I realized, oh, my 3DS, you know? And it's like, honest to goodness, I genuinely do wish we went back for it, because, again, like, anything that important to, like, your kid, especially if it's expensive and you shouldn't be left unattended, that close to home, I get it's an annoyance, but you probably should. It's the safe option to turn around and get it, as opposed to what my father did, just drive on for like another 3 hours until we arrived at our destination, had a family vacation, went home, and found out because my brother had told everybody we were leaving, literally everybody he knew, who somewhat in the best lot, our house had been burgled. And guess what wasn't in the drawer where I left it? My 3DS and all my games for it. Gone, vanished, poof. And that was like a huge blow to me. Like that really affected like how many memories I had of playing the 3DS, going through a bunch of games as they came out. I missed out on, I think, what was it? X and Y because of that. I didn't play through that generation of Pokemon because I didn't have a 3DS at the time to play through it. But I still desperately wanted one back. We weren't able to get one for several years. Well, at that point, I had transitioned from like a young teen when it was stolen. By the time I decided to grab hold of one, well, I could afford to grab hold of one myself, to, a late teen, young 20-something. And that even then, that's several years back now. For a decent price, but I could only afford, like, I think the latest Pokemon game at the time, which was Sun and Moon, if my memories aren't bleeding together, of just, like, smushing these two things together. Redundant word use. You gotta love it. Again, brains all fuzzled at the moment. Point is, I just couldn't afford to like catch up with things in a massive way outside of like just getting the latest Pokemon game and looking at some of the older Professor Layton games I had gotten. So yeah, that was all I was able to do. But I always had the a fundamental belief that I would be able to get more time. Eventually be able to put aside some money here and there, as also prices kind of just what I thought at the time would naturally, gradually drop and become more affordable with sales and everything. But it just didn't, especially for like Nintendo in-house games, first-party games that they had published. Those never really diminished in price. And I can say with certainty that is like the case, even as the 3DS eShop was closing, none of the stuff was even on sale. It was all like indie stuff that you could just get on another platform, get on Steam, or get on the Xbox or a PlayStation, and probably would be better off for it, especially like either Steam or the Xbox, which are pretty good and reliable when it comes to backwards compatibility. I mean, hell, Steam is just like, you got a working PC, okay, we can install this and it works on Windows or whatever your operating system is. Enjoy. But yeah, like, it's a huge problem when it comes with Nintendo and budget gaming. The digital prices never go down. You know, like at some point, something is financially successful and has recuperated all its costs and made a profit. Sometimes even a buttload of profit if it's like a massive success. But gradually over time, you would expect the prices to diminish somewhat, either by some benchmark of time passing or a new system coming out and the old stuff is not as fresh anymore. The what's it? Xbox again is great for that. Example of something that you might see me streaming at some point in the future. Spec Ops Line has like obviously was a relatively pricey game when it came out, AAA game if I remember correctly. But even then, it's been reduced down to like $10, and I got it on sale for like $5.99. Pretty great for what was a Xbox 360 game that I'm going to be playing on the Xbox Series X. So, whereas with Nintendo, they never really go down. They never go down. If my memory is a bit fuzzy at the moment, not just because how tired I am, because it's been quite a while since the 3DS as well. But to be honest, once they did the Switch and that was portable as well, that was the death nail for the 3DS. Because why would you have two portable consoles you will be supporting at the same time? You know? Once like any like previously announced games were done there, that was kind of it for Nintendo. But even then, that did not see the reduction of prices when it came to the digital video. Oh god, digital purchases of the video games. There we are. There we are. And you see, it's not only bad for like the eShop in general, as like the 3DS was seeing its decline and eventual shutdown. But it was also bad for people like trying to buy secondhand as well. Because the basic way secondhand games work is like someone has to have bought the game and decide they at some point don't like it or finish it but not want to hold on to it. And that one's important because there's always going to be a percentage of people varying on like how good the game is that just will always want to hold on to the physical copy of the game. Even if they haven't touched it in years, the memories are just too fond to part with it. And there's always going to be a finite supply of physical copies to a game, whereas digital copies are infinite. So, and at a certain, it will become finite physical copies because eventually the company will just stop producing new discs for the game. And again, a certain percentage of people holding on to them, some getting damaged, destroyed, lost, etc. Some just getting destroyed and sent to a landfill because, like, somewhere on a spreadsheet, it's just more beneficial to do that for some reason. Kind of seems like a huge waste, but whatever. The physical availability of secondhand games and how frequently they are trading hands is a big factor in the prices, but another part is also the actual digital price of the game itself as well. Because a good example of something else I did on the channel a while back, the gaming channel I should say, is A Life is Strange 2. That started off as I don't know the exact price. I'd be surprised it was a full 60, but it was definitely up there, like 40 or so euros, dollars, etc. to buy the season of the 5 episodes when it was at launch, launching several episodes. It's episodic release, it's complicated to describe. Anywho. But now that it is fully out and is some years on, the price has gone down on various digital storefronts, and it is regularly going on sale, giving you windows of opportunity to grab it and thus, save some money. And like you mix that with like a high turnover rate because well, people are not as fond for Life is Strange 2 as they are for the first Life is Strange. So that means there's always a steady supply of disc copies trading hands, going into people's hands to play it, and then leaving those hands once they've completed the game or decided they've had enough. So that is how I was able to get my copy of that game for 10 euros. Whereas, like, even as like the uh, 3DS was like long dead in terms of like new official releases, the prices for digital games never really dropped. For any of Nintendo's first party games. Thus, like people could not just like turn to that and get it on sale for a cheaper price than like a second-hand physical copy, which then always kept that price high up as well. And again, Nintendo is a brand that kind of prioritizes itself on this aesthetic of like a connection. It's hard to describe in a certain way. It's oh god, I don't know. It's kind of something similar to like a Disney adult that just like cherishes and prides themselves on having this memorabilia, but it's the physical game itself that is the memorabilia that they hold on to. So the Nintendo, particularly the first party games, do not see a high rate of like turnover back into secondhand stores. So not only is like the price so high on the storefront, but there's a limited supply of secondhand games at any one time. So thus making in some cases the secondhand games, the physical copies, even more expensive than the digital download. On top of that, Nintendo rarely goes on sale, and quite frankly, nowhere near as much as any other game. You could expect like 40 or 50%, sometimes if you're lucky, 60 or more of certain big AAA games or notable indie AA games, etc. Whereas like Nintendo, it's standard for like big tentpole releases, its major hitters, is around like 25% at most. And that's only once in a blue moon. It doesn't go on as sale as often as other games. On the whole, it's just like I was never able, once I got another 3DS, to bounce back from having my first one stolen and losing all those games. I could just never afford to keep up, especially when I could weigh the price of like I don't know the Majora's Mask remake on the 3DS against I don't know a recent example Nier Automata. I'd probably have to pay like 40 or more for Majora's Mask. Nier Automata was on sale on Steam for like $20 recently, leaving me not only spending less money, but if I was going to spend the full amount, I could get other more notable games and big releases from this side of the millennia. Like, from this century. Well, actually, when did Majora's Mask come out? Was it late last century or early this century? You get my point though. I could get like a more recent modern classic that is a lot bigger, a lot more bang for my buck, or this smaller package from Nintendo that is like not only a remaster of something, but is also like years old in of itself that has only gone up in like physical price, if anything. What it's always just the more sound option to go for not only more quality in some cases, not to diss Majora's Mask. If it's like Ocarina of Time, it's probably gonna be a pretty good game, but still, both quality and quantity. Because, like, again, what's it? The Automata, 6 year on release, has now dropped to about 40, regularly goes on sale down to 20. It's just easier to get its hands on top of like several indie games that you could buy for that price as well, or just wishlist them and wait for them to go on sale for like relatively around the same price as Nintendo, but again, 30% out of like 15 or something, or 20 or something. That's respectable and brings the price down lower. 25% or less out of something that costs like 60 or $70. That's no good. No good. And again, I was looking through the 3D what's it 3DS eShop the little hour it was about to end, thinking, well, if there's something I was always really wanting to get around to play with, on sale or something, I can maybe move some money about, even if it's not the wisest decision. But like the only thing on sale for the most part were like uh third party indie games. The majority of the more notable ones are just available on Steam and would probably be a better place to buy them and thus ensure long term access to, as long as Steam doesn't crash and burn. Uh, it's and that's like the biggest problem with like Nintendo, both when it came to like the 3DS and now my Switch. I've wanted to get like Breath of the Wild for the longest time to have the potential of playing on the gaming channel. Throw that up there and say, hey, advertise that as a choice in polls I hold in my Discord to try and track some people. But for the life of me, it's even when I can find a physical copy in a store, it's ironically enough priced higher than it is on the eShop because they know there's such a limited supply and such high demand that they can just charge more than the M MRPP. God, I don't know. I'm too tired to remember the exact phrase for that is or what it stands for. But yeah, it's just a baffling situation that I just wanted to mention on the death of the what's it eShop. I had not know I knew it was like coming, but I had not noticed the exact date until I stumbled across like all the artwork mentioning it was happening today, and then just decided to look in on the eShop itself the little hour of its closing. And it has me all sad. Uh, Bittersweet, I think, is the best word I can come up with to describe how I'm feeling. Like, there's fond memories I had with the 3DS and the DS itself, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, who enjoyed that franchise, as well as Pokemon Rangers. Like, that one in particular could only exist on, like, the what's it, DS system. Dual screen, one of them being a touchscreen you could interact with. That's the only way it really makes sense, because anywhere else it just wouldn't work as well. Still. I had a point, but then I got distracted by spin off games of Pokemon. I have just a lot of fond memories, but the biggest thing I will remember the 3DS for is just not being able to get back into it. You know? After like waiting so long and being so hopeful to reclaim what had I lost, it just proved prohibitively expensive to reintegrate into it. And like especially like after like the when I did get that 3DS, it was past its heyday. And yeah, now with the Switch, its hardware itself, if I rant about that for a second, feels really outdated compared to what's it, the PS5 or Xbox Series X. And I'm even more so here facing the same situation of struggling to just get any of the big tentpole releases from Nintendo nowadays, secondhand in a manner I can afford. I am on disability allowance. I can't always be spending every now and again like full price on the digital store. Sometimes it is just going to be the case. I can only buy like either secondhand or an unsold first-hand copy on like Amazon or something that has been reduced in price to move product. It's a weird thing that's happened sometimes where like it is not secondhand, so thus like it gets reduced in price because they know if like you're charging X amount for like used and there's a new copy on the shelf unsold, that kind of like limits its effectiveness of like how much you can actually be charging for the secondhand copies. It's like a weird thing. I have like a copy of a game that has like was X amount thing and then got reduced because it was brand new. Where like secondhand copies of the game went for more. It's a weird thing stores do sometimes. Complete side tangent there. But yeah, just honest goodness. Sad about like my own personal history with the 3DS and how it wasn't as good as I would have hoped due to incidents of personal burglary and just a lack of funds in order to get back into it. And also just really sad that the 3DS is closing. Though again, tie it back what I mentioned to at the start of this rant that I now realize I've gone on. The completionist has basically bought every game on the 3DS and Wii U and donated those to a game preservation society of some variety. I can't remember its exact name off the top of my head. He did a whole video about that. Go check that out if you want more details. Either way, that is a good thing, so at least those will not be lost to the sands of time. Those games. The last thing I will really say about this is it was really bittersweet going back and seeing the little shopping bag mascot. I really did miss him on the Switch, but like I kind of forgotten like just how much until I went back to the thing today as I'm recording this and will just upload this rant raw to YouTube. I really missed him. He's really cute and like closing the shop, the eShop after like saying I can't afford anything that I really want. I can't justify this expense, and having to close the shop on him and him just like bowing and saying goodbye. It broke my heart. He's so cute and adorable. I just want him to just move on to the Switch at this point. You know, just do something over there. Because I just don't want him to die with the eShop. He's too cute and adorable for that. And also, like the the Wii U, the Switch store is rather bland and boring as is. So having him there as a little mascot that adds some spice in would make it a far more entertaining experience. That and improving UI in general. But hey, hey, we're like 5 years, 6 years into the Switch at this point. So that ain't happening. We'll sooner see the little bag, shopping bag mascot on the Switch 2 or whatever comes next than we will on the Switch. But again, Nintendo, I'm in all seriousness. I don't know why you just didn't adopt that as your general storefront mascot. It's very cute and adorable and just makes me very happy to see. Adopt it as a general mascot for your stores. Just please do that. It will give them all a lot more personality that, frankly, every other storefront does not have. Like, no other storefront from Steam to Xbox to PlayStation has a mascot for itself. That just makes people happy to see it as they go into the storefront. It's just a great thing to have. Please bring it back. And I believe that's absolutely everything I really wanted to do about the rant. Well, let's say... I was going to say talk about, but it's just been a rant, a slightly incoherent rant, because I am very tired, having not slept in like 24 hours. Well, no, I need to slip past the 24-hour mark in a couple hours and go a bit further so I can get my sleep schedule on track. Fingers crossing. Wish me luck down in the comments below that I have a normal sleep schedule again. Relatively, I do have to be up somewhat late because of the whole streaming thing, but not this late. Not this late, you know? Not this late, rapidly approaching 24 hours a week. Oof. Anyhow, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Again, be sure to hit the like button, as well as the bell and subscribe button, not only for this channel, but Genesequa Sod Passion Gaming, my streaming channel on YouTube, also on Twitch. And yeah, I will promote this here as well in about 2 weeks' time, the 6th of April, if I remember correctly, a Thursday. I will be streaming King of the Castle, a asymmetrical multiplayer game. Well, I will be the king of said castle, and all my viewers get to be the nobles of various factions in my court that are trying to usurp me. And we'll be playing that game to celebrate over 300 subscribers on the gaming YouTube channel. Hopefully this channel can catch up someday. But now, without further ado, it's time to say ta-ta, Wiedersehen, until we meet again. Bye-bye. Dupe, not editing this out. Not editing for the recording. You're dealing with this awkward nonsense. Bye.